And we are back here with Multithon 2024. My name is Joker, and we are ready for our next run, which is Flushed Away, featuring Kuro asterisk Kuro. I'm excited to see this. I love that this is part of the silly block. So come on, let's flush ourselves away.
Oh yeah. Welcome everyone to Flushed Away. My name is Kuro Asterisk, and I am joined by Oz. If you'd like to introduce yourself, I guess.
Hello everyone, my name is Osborne, and Flushed Away is the greatest video game of all time. That's all I gotta say.
True. Yeah, this is a fantastic, just casual game and an incredible speed run. There's so much speed tech. It is quite the spectacle. So, I guess without further ado, I'll do a 3, 2, 1, go countdown. So, 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
Thank you. Alright, so this is Flushed Away. So there was a movie back in 2006? Yeah. And this is a license game for that. So this follows a lot of the same story beat. And it's about a rat that gets flushed away. But we start in Kensington apartment before Roddy gets eponymously flushed away. Despite this being the first level, it is actually one of the most intense. This game really starts off high. This is supposed to be a tutorial teaching you like all the mechanics, but we skip a lot of it. So after we get off this path, we're supposed to head left, but instead I'm gonna hop on the lampshade. Like so. Make this jump over to this wooden pole. Don't fall off, and slide down. So that gives like 2 minutes worth of tutorials teaching how to fight, move, and everything.
That level casually, I need you all to know, is like 10 minutes or like 10 or 11 minutes long. He skipped a lot of content just now.
Yeah. There's a lot that gets skipped in this game, and even more so, hopefully, in this next part. The next part is kitchen skip, which I'll attempt to do. It's one of the harder tricks in the entire run. The first part is a frame-perfect jump, which I need to be able to jump at the end of my attack animation.
Yeah, and this is the easy part.
Yeah.
This is a much harder part.
I'll give it a few tries to hopefully hit the jump, and then, alright, got it. So
there you go.
Frame perfect window to where you can jump right after your attack animation ends. We call that an attack jump. So the goal is to get to the kitchen sink, but the load zone isn't there yet because we skipped it. Because we skipped going around the perimeter like we're supposed to do. So we need to head back. Ooh, I got shot. Unfortunate. So I got unlucky and got shot down.
Not the walk of shame.
So yeah, here we have the walk of shame. So this is how you're intended to do the kitchen. As you see, when you approach the Nerf dart launchers, they eventually shut off. But since we got to the kitchen island early, they just turn on and never stop. So you have to hope you don't get hit on that horizontal rope. So we're back to where we're supposed to be. So we need to back up in order to load the end trigger. So here we are back on the rope. So what I would have done is I would have turned around about here, dropped off, and fall into the end trigger like that.
And you also have to like move around some death planes in the middle of the air there, because there are some weirdly placed death planes that will just kill you because they don't want you to exit the game too early, exit the level too early.
On one hand, this game does not use lives. There's no lives, so you just like reset, which you know, pretty modern approach nowadays. But you know, Flushed Away did it first. Flushed Away is the genesis of a lot of games, a lot of game mechanics, I'd say. So here we're going on to the second mission. This is a pretty lengthy one. We're supposed to get a jar of flies, but we're gonna skip a lot of it. This level is one big loop. I'm gonna focus up. Oz, you kind of want to talk about this level a bit?
Yeah, so jar of flies skip. Essentially, this level loops around back itself, and so this pipe that he's gonna go into, right there, he did it first try. That pipe, that area that he just like jumped on, it's supposed to break, and you're supposed to like fall through the floor, which will lead you to the rest of the level. But there's a very small like edge to the pipe where you can just jump and go into the area that Kuro is in now. And because of that, he was able to skip pretty much. I don't know how long it is in the speed run, but like casually, it felt like took like 30 minutes or more for me to get 3 jar flies. And so that's a lot of content skip right there, and it's much more like Kuro made it look easy, much more finicky than it looks.
Yeah, so now there's flies in this room, so the flies weren't initially there because we entered backwards. So what we had to do, so typically you're supposed to go up an elevator like we just did. Whoops. So yeah, that's fall damage also. We'll get into that as well, but...
Yeah. Well, we just saw you try to cancel fall damage, right? Trying to activate this room. So that's another nice strat that we saw there.
Yeah, so we had to go in the elevator, which is how you're supposed to enter this room, and that triggers the flies to spawn. So we have to collect the 6 flies, and now that we do that, we go back the same exact way we entered. So yeah, we skip a whole, like, falling through the pipe section where we have to, like, traverse through Brazilian spiders, which we will eventually have to deal with. But yeah, it cuts out a lot of the stage. It's one of the like major skips of the run.
Yeah, Jar of Flies is long. Like it's a long level.
Yeah, I think done like without the skip, I think it's like 6 or 7 minutes.
Yeah, that's even in the speedrun, just in the speedrun, that's a long time, you know.
Yeah, so we've been playing as Rocky St. James, this rat in the tuxedo, but you know, this is Multithon, you know, multiple characters, and we have our other protagonist, Rita Malone.
Rita.
Yeah, she works a bit differently from Roddy. She has a slightly different moveset, and she also has a grappling hook, which is her main gimmick. So
like
we're gonna,
Spider-Man.
yeah, just like Spider-Man. You know, I think Stan Lee said he got the inspiration from Spider-Man after watching Flushed Away.
Exactly.
I think that was a direct quote. So we're gonna try and do a death cancel. So as you can see, I die from fall damage there. But if I frame perfectly do an attack right as I land, all fall damage is negated. But yeah, you can also do an attack jump here, but I just kind of want to showcase the different methods we have of descending, because when you do an attack jump, it resets your vertical momentum.
You wouldn't think a game like this has so many frame perfect tricks, but we've already seen like 1 or 2 already in the time span. We're only 6 minutes into the run.
There we go. So yeah, as you can see, I did not die. I was able to get the attack off. But now coming up, so even more crazy stuff in this. So what we're intended to do is enter this ship and go through a vertical room called the flood room. And we're supposed to activate a bunch of levers to lower the water level and reach the bottom. However, if we jump on top of these boxes and go right at this seam, we can get out of bounds and then jump out of bounds, fall through the room before the water gets there. So we're technically submerged, but we avoided the layer of water that would have killed us. And now we got through the entire room without doing any of the puzzle, quote unquote.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a decent amount of out of bounds in this game.
Yeah. And thankfully, you know, the part of the water that kills you is literally just like the top layer. Like once you're submerged, it doesn't matter at all.
Yeah. So as long as we can avoid that kill plane, we're good. So as you can see, when Rita grapples, sometimes she'll have a little like wind-up animation before she actually throws out the hook. But other times it'll just happen instantly. So the developers programmed it so where if Rita is ever falling, that animation is skipped. Likely because when you have to do mid-air grapples, she won't die as she's trying to do that wind-up animation and fall to her death. So that's called an insta-grapple. So we can activate that ourselves by just jumping and waiting for her to start falling. And that will save a decent amount of time later on. We can, like, you know, optimize it to save the time.
I'm obsessed with your method of keeping balance by just, like, sidestepping instead.
Yeah. So yeah, there I just had to wait for a cycle, wait for my time. But yeah. But we'll see the sidestepping later. But yeah, there's a lot. I just had to bide my time. Talking about biding my time, these steams are deadly. Their hitbox are deceptively large, So you can think like, oh, maybe I can jump over it, or maybe I can get by, but they're huge hitboxes, and they just combo you into each other.
It's real. It's like it's a much tighter cycle than it looks. And where exactly, like, what we should have like a lore update. Where exactly is Rita going in this section, Kuro?
Yeah, so Roddy's story has been he's been flushed down the toilet, and now he's in this like sewer rat world called Ratropolis. Rita is a resident of Ratropolis, and she's trying to steal back the ruby from the Toad, who is the main antagonist. The ruby is her ticket home to get rich for her family, I think. So yeah, we're trying to. So we are. This level is called Enter the Lair. We are entering the Toad's lair. So this is the final section before we actually reach the Toad's room. We're gonna do something spiffy. So typically when you grapple, you're only able to stop yourself or descend. But if you stop yourself, hold a direction, mash the jump button, you're able to jump because she's considered grounded for a split second. So that is called a grapple jump. So typically we would have to drop down and then walk around the perimeter, but we're just able to jump up off that ledge to get to the room faster. Now we are in the Toad's bedroom, so Rita will be typically forced to tiptoe, but that is slow. So instead we use sidestepping by using the triggers, which you might be able to hear from my mic.
Can I just say, this reminds me of that Marge Simpson meme.
Yeah. 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 I know exactly what you're talking about.
He was like violently sidestepping. That's such such an animated way of sidestepping. It's beautiful.
Yeah, Roddy has like a combat roll, but Rita has her sidestep. Here we're gonna do a grapple jump. So typically we would die from fall damage, but I'm able to activate this animation for pulling the Corgi statue, and when she's doing that, she won't take fall damage. So we're able to just jump like that, and we're only able to like reach that thanks to the grapple jump.
Yeah.
So we stole back the ruby. We got past Whitey and Spike, those two rat henchmen, and now we are everyone get your soap shoes from Sonic Adventure 2 because it's grinding time.
Yes, I think the grinding sections are nice. I don't like how the the notches in the the pipes, they like do you damage.
Yeah, you can see on the top left, it's draining my health. As long as you have more than one, you have enough health to and enough health replenishment to just tank it. But yeah. Is
it really just faster to just tank it than just jump over it?
Rita's air mobility is slower. Like, we actually have her, like, when she jumps, her grounded movement speed is like 6, but when she jumps, it's 3.
Okay.
But when Roddy jumps, it just goes down to 5.97. You know, obviously. But anyway, so that's the end of Enter the Lair, and now we have a new character type. This boat called the Jammy Dodger. As you might expect, controlling a boat is a bit different from controlling the rats. So this is supposed to be a tutorial stage about learning how to use the boat. However, we're gonna skip it with this trick called the Flying Dutchman, which is an extremely fitting name. So I'm taking this very slow because a checkpoint is set. So this game sets invisible checkpoints to wherever you die, like you'll just go back to that spot. But now I need to die. There's nothing here that can do damage to me, but if you ever get the boat beached, like jumping up on this ledge, ooh, I'm fall off. I'll need to try that again. But basically, if you're out of the water, the game starts a like timer for like 8-ish seconds. And if you're still considered stuck, the game will just automatically kill you, so you don't get like soft locked or something. There we go.
That's perfect, yeah.
So as you can, my checkpoint should be near the wall, and you're just able to phase through it. For some reason, when you respawn, you can phase through walls, kind of. But anyways, now we're out of bounds, and oh, there's a load zone out of bounds. Where does this take us?
Yeah.
Oh,
The
hey,
developers just kind of left that there, right?
yeah, it's the end of the level. It's the straightaway, the final straightaway. So that level takes like 4 minutes. Typically, there's a whole like tutorial about like shooting, and then like a whole like race you have to do.
Yeah.
But it just is completely skipped. I think that's a developer exit they had just to like quickly end the level, and they moved it out of bounds. But we could get out of bounds, so we're able to reach it and skip the level.
Yeah.
So we call it the Flying Dutchman because we have to fly up to die, and then we're like a ghost ship and we face through the wall.
Yeah. Well, I think the developers just trying to make their lives easier with developer exits really backfiring on them is poetic, honestly.
Yeah. I'm not afraid to say it. I don't really like the boat sections. I don't find the boat movement very fun. So I think the developers felt similarly, given that they put a literal like load zone to like beat the level without actually having to do it.
I will say, when I played this game for the first time, I struggled the most with the boat sections.
It's very weird to control. But yeah, the boat
They're not the most perfect.
Yeah, it's not only for driving. We also have a crayon crossbow, and this is Race with the Raft Part 2. So there's 4 waves of enemies. So there's Fat Barry, and there's Fat Barry and Lady Killer. Now there's Fat Barry, Lady Killer, and Timble-Nosed Ted. So 3 rats. They each take 3 hits. We want to beat them, so it's based on like cycles. So we just want to beat them as fast as we can before the last cycle, but as long as we can get before the next wave should show up, it's fine. Okay, so I got it. So now there's the final...
Yeah. Oh, wait, go ahead.
There's the final wave of Spike and Whitey. Once they're dead, the level ends, so this time speed does matter, because the level just ends immediately once you kill them. And that's it.
Can I also mention that like in that section, Rita is the one dropping the bow, which means Roddy is the one like shooting all of the crayons. Where did he learn how to do that? How to aim so perfectly? Like, I feel like that's a very huge plot hole we just like jumped over.
I think he said something, but like then Rita says like, Roddy's like, "Did you see that?" And then like Rita's like, "Yeah, you shot all my ammo." But now, so we got caught even though we shot all the hench rats. So now we must escape. So this is a super long section, but we're able to just kind of fall through it. Like, I just skipped so much right here. Ooh, I messed that up. But yeah, we're supposed to like zip line down here, but like I just jump over here to this like ceiling structure. Then from this bridge, I'm gonna do a big jump onto the climbable wall. And I need to make sure I don't actually land, or else I'll take fall damage and die. But yeah, that skips so much, like going all the way around, having to go on the ground floor and then climb back up. We're also going to do another skip here on the ropes. So at the end of this rope, we're going to jump through the floor, and now we're just up. Roddy's body is he's being cut in half by the floor, but he counts as being standing, so it all works out.
Naturally.
Okay. So I'm also like doing some special movement. There's a lot of like cutscenes of where the rats are chasing you, so I'm doing my best to avoid those just to save time. But now we've opened the vent, Among Us joke, imposter, and we are leaving.
Just play the Among Us stinger right now.
Yeah, exactly. So we have escaped the lair, but there's a part 2 to this level, so now we just have to walk around a bit. Actually, you know what? I have a good idea. There's a lot of glitches and like things you can do in this game. Not all of them have practical purposes. I'm gonna do a visual glitch real quick. I'm gonna do a special one. I'm gonna hope this works. Alright. Alright, now I'm gonna die and... Okay, it worked. So yeah, I paused right before a checkpoint was set. So when I died and respawned, those UI elements never had the time to disappear properly. And now there's no script to like have them disappear. So now they're just here for the rest of this level.
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
Casey,
yeah.
we have 3 Rodneys on screen right. Rodney's on screen right now, by the way.
Oh, but just wait. Now there's 4. 'Cause there's a new
4.
Now there's a new UI element.
Oh, this is beautiful.
But yeah.
You just can't get it out of him.
Yeah, just can't get in though. This will go away if you like pause, but you know, it's alright. There's not much to. This is a. So the rest of the levels, there's been like some sort of skip and stuff, but this one is just straight up movement. Like right now, I'm literally just running straight. That's like the most optimal thing to do. There's no horizontal movement tech per se. There's a lot of like getting down and like getting extra jumps by like falling, but yeah, here we're just kind of forced to just run. So the goal is we're trying to catch up to Rita. She's on her ship, and she's driving away. This isn't like we need to catch her. Well, we do need to catch her in time, quote unquote, but like the level has a set end. It's not like we can reach her early. But we're using these propeller points, you can see through the UI elements, to navigate our way through. So Roddy just automatically will use it. So purple, or blue and purple send them horizontally, orange and yellow send them vertically. But yeah, we're just gonna be kind of running around. I'll be doing some movement to avoid cutscene triggers, although some I can't skip, like the one coming up. But yeah, it's just a lot of movement. So Joker, if you've got any messages, feel free to go for a bit.
Well, absolutely. I do want to remind everybody that you are watching Multithon. It is a speedrunning event raising money for Blue Path Service Dogs, the charity that provides service animals to autistic individuals. Multithon focuses on co-op runs, races, and games with multiple protagonists or helper characters, led by the belief that we are better and faster together. I do want to talk a little bit about Blue Path here since we have a moment. Each Blue Path dog comes with thousands of hours of training from dedicated volunteers and professional staff. The cost to prepare these incredible dogs is upwards of $40,000. Yet thanks to the ongoing generosity of supporters, Blue Path Service Dogs and their intensive ongoing follow-up support are provided free of charge. And a reminder, last year we got the chance to name a Blue Path Service Dog whose name is Thunder. So you are making a direct contribution towards somebody's life and towards somebody's well-being by donating here to Multithon. Don't forget we have that $2,500 incentive that we want to reach here by the end of the day tomorrow. We're currently at $2,310, so we are so close there, chat. I really would love to see us take on Sephiroth, so let's make sure we can get there.
And also, if we get to 5,000, we get to name another dog. That's another real dog. Yeah, that's gonna be good. Yeah, this section feels like it goes a lot longer than I remembered it going.
Yeah, it goes on quite a bit. Again, there's not really any skips. Really. Supposed to let you. So you're intended to use those propeller points to get your way through, but the blue ones are much slower than moving normally. So we're able to actually ledge grab, but you do need to time your jump a bit. Okay, I think all the UI elements are distracting me.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so the double jump in this game is weird. So you don't always have it. You have it for like a second after you do your initial jump, and after that, it's gone. You just don't have a double jump anymore. So it's not like I can like fall for a long time after jumping and then activate a mid-air jump. You only have a very limited amount of time, which is what makes like attack jumps so useful for us. It's very weird to pick up, but you know the rules become clear as you play.
And some I guess some facts about this as we're going through this a lot of these movements and movement section with the UI. If you believe that this game was like based off of the success of the movie, you would be wrong. Because this game actually was created as a way to promote the movie itself, and it was released 1 week before the movie was in theaters. And there are like scrapped characters that like you see at the beginning that like don't exist in the movie. It's wild. And unfortunately, no, Hugh Jackman and Kate Winslet are not the people who voice Roddy and Rita in this video game, which is the worst tragedy of them all, honestly.
It's truly tragic. But yeah, in like the commercial, like I looked up a commercial for this game, and in the commercial they're like play the game first, then see the movie. It's interesting way to do it. So we're back in Piccadilly. So story-wise, we met back up with Rita. We've made amends. So now Roddy and Rita are a team. And from this point, the game stops following like the movie plot. I think probably because they didn't finish the movie plot yet, or at least the middle part. It comes towards the ending. It like comes back, but for now we're just kind of doing like some side quests. Logic. Okay, sorry, the logic puzzle. The do you want to save? No. Are you sure? Yes.
Orphans, eh?
So yeah, we're doing a bunch of like side quest things. Right now we're saving some orphans, and to do that we have to use the boat again. There's the same thing. We've like searched using like a cheat engine. Like we've been able to see that there is a load zone out of bounds that would take us to the end of the level and be able to skip everything. However, we don't have a means of getting out of bounds like we do in the other boat levels, so for now, we just have to play normally. I am not a master of the boat. There's a lot of boat tech. There's like dolphin diving, insta boosts. It goes pretty in depth. I am not the best. I never was the best, and I'm definitely slacked on the boat. My boating expertise, especially since of how little boating is now in the run after some skips have been found. But yeah, Millicent Bystander, the world record holder, flushed away. He makes the boat movement look like beautiful, like as if the boat controls like well. Like it's a sight to behold. I do not have that skill, and I have not practiced enough to reach that same level of expertise. But yeah, there's a lot of wonky collision, like as you saw with that ramp, it like got caught on something. But yeah, a lot of movement comes around with jumping, with the L trigger, so I'll be able to hop the boat. The game never actually teaches you about hopping, so I guess that's just something you're supposed to figure out yourself, despite it being super useful in this level. But yeah, anyways, we have to save the orphans because the sewer's about to flood. On the top right, we have like a timer thing, and we don't want it to be all red. So we've made it to the end. We've made it from point A to point B. We will save the orphans, and now we need to go from point B to point A. So we have to make the return trip. Yeah. I
Is
would
there save the orphans plot in the movie?
no.
I was gonna say I don't remember that in the movie at all. I was just like,
Yeah, the next few levels are game exclusive. They just don't follow the story at all. But yeah, so we've saved the orphans somehow. We like unclogged the drain, but now we need to get out before all the water is drained. So yeah, what's kind of neat is we're going through the same thing, but the beep, beep, beep. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, so we're going through the same level structure, but now the water level has decreased. So if you have a keen eye, you'll see that like some of the environments are different because now there's like trash that was submerged that are now coming up. So it's kind of neat. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this level. We are desperately trying to search for, this level's called a good deed. We are desperately trying to search for a good deed skip. I mean, you know, sorry to those orphans, but like, you gotta save time, you know? Hate to be crass. But yeah, Also, Millicent Bystander, he also created a task for this game. It's a little outdated, but it's still super cool seeing the movement, especially the boat movement. Like, it actually just blazes by. There's so much time saved there. Because unlike the normal rat movement, you can really get a lot of speed and like launch yourself if you do it properly. But yeah, you're also, for this level, you run the risk of getting caught on some of the debris. And if you are caught for too long, then the game will think you're stuck and kill you, which will then waste a lot of time. But we're done with a good deed. So we're back to the rat, and now we are going to Arachne's Revenge. So we talked to this guy again, who gave us the first mission for a jar of flies. So he tells us, go get another jar of flies. So obviously, the logical course of action is to go beat up a bunch of Brazilian spiders. Obviously. So yeah, this is for all you flushed away connoisseurs, you may not remember Arachne. She did not appear in the movie. She was made exclusively for the GameCube and Game Boy games. Not the DS, I don't think. I don't think she appears there, but definitely GBA and definitely here. So these are her children. These spiders' children in school outfits. They're also gigantic, especially compared to the size of these rats. So yeah, this is the first. So we actually have to fight her as a boss. This is the first time we're like actually going to use combat. So we've been using our attacks for like other purposes, like attack jumps, or death cancels. But now we actually have to fight. So first we drop down this welcome mat, and we have to take an elevator up. So Roddy and Rita have some special moves. So they have their basic attack button, but they can also spin. If you do an attack and then spin, you do a spin attack. Roddy's spin attack does the most damage. So Roddy's basic attacks do 1 damage each, but the spin does 3, so it does 4 damage total. But there's a lot of end lag, so we don't want to use it exclusively. We're gonna use a mix of some of his basic attacks and then use the spin attack as a sort of finisher. But yeah, so we're out of that spider's range over there, so that's why he's not attacking us. Otherwise, he would be aggressive. But now we have Arachne. So unlike her children, we can't just wallop on her immediately. We're going to have to abuse her maternal instincts by throwing her eggs at her. And as she tries to put them back, we beat her up. You know, the logical thing to do. So here's Arachne. So we start with the 3-hit combo, and then we end with the spin move. So we're able to do this in 2.5 cycles. You can like obstruct her path and keep her more vulnerable, but it's very hard to do. So yeah, this is a typical Arachne. You can actually one-cycle her. There's a way to like break her AI, where she won't put down the egg and will remain vulnerable. But yeah, that's a pretty standard fight. Didn't get the 1 cycle. We don't really know how. It's like if you hit her like right before she's supposed to put down the egg, it interrupts her AI. But yeah, that's Arachne's Revenge. But so now we're brought back to Piccadilly, and we are given the mission for the longest level in the game, called Running the Gauntlet. It takes about like 12 minutes to beat, like, and that's going as fast as possible. Like, when I played casually, this took me like multiple hours. But we have a way to skip it by breaking the space-time continuum. So we'll head off on the boat again. We got our mission, so we're progressing the story, we get a save prompt, and now we're running the gauntlet. So most levels put a checkpoint at the beginning of the level, but they didn't put a checkpoint at the beginning here. At the end of this tunnel, they give you a checkpoint, but what I'm gonna do instead is use this salvage point. We play this fishing minigame, you can immediately cancel out of it. We don't have normal boat movement, but if I switch stations to air cannon, then switch back to steering, I can control the boat again. And if I jump as the hand retracts, it kills me. But there wasn't a checkpoint at the beginning of the level, so where's it send me? Well, it sends me right after I beat Arachne, so I'm back in Piccadilly, and now I need to go get the mission for the longest level in the game. So, what's the deal? Did I just create a time loop? Like, how is this helpful? Well, for all intents and purposes, even though I'm not in the level, the game thinks I'm still in the level. So when we try and board the boat again to progress the story, since it thinks I'm in that level, the game only knows like, oh, okay, move the story along. So it moves the story state forward, thus skipping that level. So we just skipped like 11 minutes. That's like probably the biggest skip in the game. Anyways, now we have to play Castle Siege. This is like capture the flags, but with like catapults and things. You don't actually have to win, you just have to beat the game. So you could let the enemy win, but they take so long that it's just easier if you win yourself. So I take this, the egg launcher catapult. I'm able to move forward. What I don't want them to target my catapult, because if they do that, they send my catapult back, and then I need to get back over here. So now that I'm close enough to the enemy lines, I'll break the tower, and I need to steal their flags. You're able to hit multiple at once, but it's really hard to do. Also, there's variance to your shot. I got 2 at once, which is great, actually. So there's 3 flags on each side. So I got 2 at once, which is huge, because that means I don't need to waste another shot getting a flag. And that was the 3rd. So yeah, that's Castle Siege. The game can just not cooperate and waste your time. But yeah, fortunately it's over. Anyway, now we're kind of back to the movie's plotline. We are now fighting the frog, the Toad's French cousin. So we start off with Rita. This is actually a really fun level with Rita. This really highlights her movement capabilities because there's so many grapples. So yeah, this really flexes her movement. So it starts with 3 rooms as Rita, and then we go to Roddy to fight the frog in a boss fight. So here we're gonna have to jump off, reach this grapple point. Rita actually has a lot of vision, so she's able to cross the entire map and see that grapple point and grapple to it. We use a grapple jump to climb up without needing to go down and then climb up a climbable wall. And that's room 2. Room 3 is the simplest. There's not a lot going on. There's a lot of grapple points, but you just skip a lot of it because of Rita's vision. We're gonna grapple jump here. Oh, guess we're not gonna grapple jump, but we just hit those 2 grapple points and reach the end. So now we have the frog.
Zooming through these.
Yeah. That's a really fun level to do as Rita. So we're going to, this is phase 1, he sticks to the wall and then does a tongue attack. So he doesn't work based on how much damage is done to him, it's based on how many times he's hit. So we hit him, oops, he hit me. Alright, now I have to wait for him to not taunt me. But yeah, so we make him go to phase 2 because it's much quicker than him trying to stick to the wall. And then we hit him with the spin attack, which is enough to kill him. So we have to dodge his attack. If you just go left of him, he can't hit you. But I did get hit once. But yeah.
I find it so painful that you like just attacked and stabbed his tongue as the first attack. I feel like that should have done a lot more damage.
That did no damage. It just stunned him. Lame. But yeah, now we are already at the final level. The Amphibian Dawn. So the entire like plot line of this is that the Toad wants to flush away all of rat kind by opening the like floodgates of the sewers. So his tadpole children can rise up. So that is the Amphibian Dawn. So we need to put a stop to his plans. So this is we hand off between Roddy and Rita for this. So in his anger, he throws these liquid nitrogen bottles at us, and we need him to break his own computer consoles. Oop. I didn't mean to stand there. So yeah, each computer console takes 3 hits. And hopefully I get there in time. Okay, cool. That's really hard to get from the back one to this one in time for him to, like, not whiff a shot. But yeah, that's Roddy. He doesn't really fight directly, but Rita does. So now we have to fight those hench rats, if you remember us shooting with the crayon cannons.
Cheers, mate.
They each have a weakness that we have to utilize in the room in order to make them vulnerable. So first up is Fat Barry. His weakness is ice, so we open up this, like, cold shower and get him to guide him through it. Once he falls down, we can start wailing on him. So we're able to get, like, 2 combos in, and then, yeah. 2 combos in, and then we have to activate the effect again to put him back. For the next 2, we can actually stack the effects. So Timblenose Ted's weakness is the light. So as he got hit by the first one, I activate the light again. So that makes it so he gets affected by the second light flash immediately. So I can just keep attacking on him and not have to waste time as he's invulnerable again. This is Lady Killer. His weakness is knocking off his toupee. So we need to get him to cross the span. He's very finicky. He's definitely the toughest to beat.
I love goofy henchmen with very specific weaknesses.
Yeah. Yeah, Fat Barry, Timblenose Ted, and Lady Killer. The trio of a lifetime.
The obstacle course at home.
This is the final section with Roddy. We need to reach the toad. So this is quite precarious. There's a lot of steam and whatnot. But we can get through just fine. So there's crushers that instantly kill you. There's also electricity that if I touch, it instantly kills you. Yeah, there's the task strat. There's a way you can, like, go around the outside of it, but, like, it requires, like, position perfect jumps that are very demanding and hard to do. But yeah, now we just have an uphill thing. We're supposed to, you see the fan up there? We're supposed to deactivate the fan, but they forgot to put a hitbox, so we can just jump through it. Yeah, that's just there. But yeah, that's the end of Roddy's section. So now we have Rita to finish us off. So we have to activate these terminals. We have to do this 3 times. So we activate the terminal, we grapple up here, we press a button, and then we release the liquid nitrogen by grappling it. Instead of just immediately grappling, I wait until I fall off the platform. That way I can perform an insta-grapple, so it skips her wind-up animation. So there's a lot of just optimization with this. Like, this game's pretty beginner-friendly for speedrunning, with some exceptions, like some of the more advanced strats, but this has a huge skill ceiling. Like, if this were like Millicent playing, the world record holder, like, there'd be much more, like, there'd be some advanced strategies. Anyways, this is the final section of... Trying to get it, alright. So this is the final section. We need to knock the liquid nitrogen out of his hands, and then pull the planks out from under his platforms. I'm using insta-grapples. It's faster than using the wind-up animation, because it instantly, you know, attacks it. So the final 2 platforms, once the final platform goes and the screen turns black, it's time. So, time. I kind of gave up.
Well done.
And that's
Like
flipped away. This game is awesome.
It is.
Yeah, it's so cool. This is my first speed game, actually.
Speaking of whom,
this is what got me into speedrunning, and it's also the first game I ever ran at a marathon, all thanks to Oz, of course. But yeah, this game is awesome. You know, Flushed Away, You know, I would have met Oz without Flushed Away. I would have met a lot of people without Flushed Away.
We
So, you
wouldn't
know,
be here if I Flushed Away.
Exactly. No, literally. I literally would not be Kuro without Flushed Away. I literally had to create an online persona. Like, I need, like, dang, I need to create my speedrun.com profile, which would my name be. So yeah, this has a lot of meaning to me. This game is awesome. Like, if this is at all interesting to you, like, please join our Discord server. It's on speedrun.com. Yeah, if you're into glitch hunting, there's a lot of glitches that need to be found. This game is just a trove of everything. This is like a really impressive game. Yeah, Oz, anything you wanna say?
Legitimately, like we meme about this game being like the greatest game of all time, but for what it is and for like a licensed game that came out in 2006, it's actually really good. Like, I'm not joking. You should play the game and you should try and speedrun it. I don't speedrun it myself, but I am in the server just because I want to keep up with the community and what's going on in there. And they're a good group of folks. They're pretty passionate about this game. We don't talk about Flushed Away for the GBA. That doesn't exist. It's a whole different ballpark. But for this game, it holds a special place in my heart. It always will. And I'm excited to see where Kuro takes it in the future.
Yeah, if you just want to keep up with all the Flushed Away news, join the Discord server. Multithon is actually planning to root a blindfolded run of this game, which sounds like hell, but you know, if anyone could do it, it's him. But yeah, you can catch me on Kuro Asterisk. It's spelled out on like Twitch and YouTube, because you know, special characters. But yeah, I do Flushed Away and a bunch of other games. Like, there's no cohesion between the games I play. It's just anything. But yeah, that's it for me. Thank you for having me, and support Blue Path, and enjoy the rest of the marathon.
All right.
Thank you both so much. Well done, and GG's Kuro on the run. That was fantastic.
Thank you.
So entertaining to watch. We are going to take ourselves a quick break as we get ready and set up for our next race. So don't go anywhere. You're going to want to see exactly how this next race is going to unfold. Stay tuned for more Multithon in just a few moments.